It's always good to be back in Havoc. It's such a great resource. I don't know what I'd do without it. I wouldn't be able to do this project, I think, without the help I get here. Well, just landed in Fairbanks. The trip did not exactly go as planned. There we are. But it seems like more of a risk because I think it's not, it's just because it's unusual, right? I mean, it is way more dangerous driving a car in terms of death and injuries, way more dangerous than flying a plane or being on a glacier. So I couldn't ask for a better birthday present or a better end to my 22nd year of study on McCall Glacier. Well, it's the start of day 10. On my way home today. I missed the sunrise. I guess it happens a little earlier here when you're not in the bottom of a steep-walled valley. Just checked out the plane. Made sure everything was sort of still attached and such. Checking the weather. Had a great night, day and evening hanging out with Rick last night. It's always good to be back in Havoc. It's such a great resource. I don't know what I'd do without it. I wouldn't be able to do this project, I think, without the help I get here. That's the direction we're going. I don't know if you can see the mountains, but they're clear in that way. That's back the way I came. It's back towards the haul road to the west. So I think I'm gonna head straight back. Follow the road just because the weather's better. It's about 6:15, I guess. A little bit of a breeze. Pretty pleasant morning. Wow. All right, time to finish loading the plane and get going. Well, just landed in Fairbanks. The trip did not exactly go as planned. Some unexpected cloud cover, unexpected headwinds, low fuel, and then about, I don't know, 30 miles outside of Fairbanks, my radio died just when I needed to call the airport and tell them I was coming in. But by then, fortunately, the I had cell phone coverage, so I was able to call them. And I got this headset, which now I realize why it was such a good investment. Not that I bought it for that reason, but I was able to call through Bluetooth in my headset. So I had perfect clarity with them all the way in. I just stayed on the phone with them rather than the radio and got in no problem. It would have been no problem anyway, but it's a hassle for everyone. You have to do this whole flyby thing and light gun routine. I was trying to remember if I could even remember how it was supposed to work. Unfortunately, didn't need it. Now I'm here in Fairbanks. After a long trip, I can already feel that I'm way overdressed. I've just come from the bike. Caravan coming in. Getting old. Yep, it's Fairbanks. Well, the trip is over. No, the trip's not over till I tie down the plane. Then the trip is over. But yeah, it was a great trip. Glad I have another story to tell. Live to tell another story. So I will check back in later. just unpacked the plane. Turner's got something to... Oh.
So it's adjustable. You can take the plates out and you can change the height of it.
Oh.
The wrong way.
There we are. I got my birthday present. I did that at the airport. East Ramp Pizza and East Ramp beer.
Well, I had to rank the gears. Sorry, guys.
Beer and pizza. What more can you ask for? Beer, pizza, and airplanes. Well, the trip is over now. You know, like I said when I landed, the trip's not over till you tie the plane down back at home. It's the truth. The last 4 hours of that trip were in some ways in most ways actually maybe the most nerve-wracking or riskiest of the whole trip. You know, I tell you, Alaska is a huge state, and it's so easy to underappreciate that because we always make it look smaller on the maps just so that it fits into the map of the rest of the states, but it's enormous. I mean, that was I don't know how long did it take, 5 hours? I mean, 350 miles. So that'd be like, pick your destinations. I mean, a 6-hour driving trip, more than that. Probably like a 7 or 8 hour driving trip because you never drive straight like you do on a plane. So it's a huge, long flight. And there is fuck all in between those two spots. I mean, where I took off from was nothing. Some fuel tanks and Rick. And that was about it. And, you know, you kind of pass by a couple villages on the way, but those villages, there's no aviation services, no fuel, no mechanics, no hangars, no hotels, no stores. There's a couple hundred people at best. And for the most part, they're not necessarily enthusiastic about greeting people landing there and saying, I need help. You know, I'm stuck. In any case, yeah, it's a huge state. And the weather reporting, I mean, it was forecast to be clear all the way from Kavik to Fairbanks, and it was not clear. You know, from, I don't know, 25 miles maybe north of the divide of the Brooks Range to 25, 50 miles south of it, I don't know. It was a solid cloud cover. I couldn't go over the haul road because it was already down to the ground there. So I was going to follow the canning, but it's just a solid cloud cover in front of me. I really don't like flying over clouds. I didn't want to fly under them. It was like 6,000, 7,000 feet. Like the taller peaks, like the 8,000-foot peaks were poking through the clouds. So I kept heading east, thinking, because it looked like I could get further south and east without going over the clouds in that direction. And so I was almost back to McCall. I cut in over the Hula Hula. There's a pass that drops pretty quickly into the Chandler, which is a big wide valley to the south. And I decided to take that. So it's like, you know, there's nothing different about flying over clouds or under clouds in an airplane like this. I mean, for the most part, it's just what happens if the engine stops. You can't see the ground. You got to figure out where you are. So, and you don't have as much time to prepare. But if you're under the clouds, you don't have as much time either. So it's a trade-off. Pick your poison. So you just climb up as high as I can go. And, as I get sort of over the divide, I can still go back where it's cloud free. And then there's about 20 minutes where, the clouds are probably down to the ground because the mountains are so high. And what can you do? You just kind of keep a smile on your face and keep going south. And then big open valley opens up beneath the clouds. It's there. And then before long, the clouds are gone. So it's stuff like that. It's like, it seems like a risk. I mean, it is a risk, and it's not a very mitigatable one, except by turning around. And even that has its risks. But it seems like more of a risk because I think it's not, it's just because it's unusual, right? I mean, it is way more dangerous driving a car in terms of death and injuries, way more dangerous than flying a plane or being on a glacier. But we're just so used to it. We accept that risk. And it's not about risk per se, right? It's how mitigatable your risk is. So, in a car, we mitigate it with seatbelts and airbags and driving sober, hopefully, and not texting while driving. But we can't control the other people on the road, and that's the big thing. In the air, it's a big sky. There are mid-air collisions occasionally, but they're pretty rare, and they're usually right at an airport. So the real danger in driving a car is all these other people on the road, driving death machines into you, right? I mean, 2,000-pound car going 60 miles an hour, just a lapse in concentration, or, wheel falls off, or they're drunk, or they're texting, or they're not paying attention, or whatever. Oncoming traffic, each going 60 miles an hour. It's an insane system, but we're used to it. And so we just accept that there's like 40,000 people a year die in car accidents. That's just the cost of doing business in the U.S. 40,000 people a year and millions of injuries. Anyway, that's sort of an aside. Just a point that was aviation, because at least I'm not doing it all the time, and most people don't do it at all. It just seems like this exotic, dangerous thing, but there are risks. And in this case, it's kind of interesting just to say that the trip's not over until the plane's tied down at home, because those last few hours, like I said, were probably the riskiest of the whole trip, in terms of mitigation versus risk. On the glacier, it's like, if I'm not being stupid, which is questionable, but I mean, what happens that, the tent gets shredded in the wind in a storm. It's like, I go sit in the plane. Being miserable in the tent or being miserable in the plane, what's the difference, really, right? Stuff like that. It's not that, again, it seems exotic, so it seems risky. But, if you know what you're doing, even to a modest degree, it's not that bad. But then, like, coming to Fairbanks, like, the last 50 miles was socked in, same thing. So rather than fly over those clouds, which were lower and closer to the ground, I flew around, and I had a huge headwind the whole time. So now, what should have been a 3.5 hour flight was now a 5 hour flight, and I'm taking more time to go around. And now I'm at like 8,500 feet. That's where I started out at. And the clouds around Fairbanks are like 5,000. So I got to get under them. And that's just about the time where I need to call Fairbanks and say, hey, this is who I am. I'm coming into land. And at that particular point in time, my radio decides to die. I had a different headset. I plugged in a different headset. That's when it turned. It was the radio. I had a handheld radio, but it didn't have the balls to reach Fairbanks. And it's at the same time, I'm kind of circling down to get under the clouds. I'm trying to manage all this. And now I can't talk to other traffic around. So I'm looking out for them. So it's just like a lot to manage all of a sudden. It's like, oh my God. It's like if the clouds weren't there, I could see Fairbanks that close, and like this chaos is happening. So in the end, I realized at that point that I was close enough to Fairbanks that I had cell. So a couple of years ago, I bought this headset that has Bluetooth. So, and I thought, what do I need this for? But anyway, that was all the headsets had it. So I bought it. It's extra money. But so I bought it. I have a few albums now on my phone. So occasionally I'll listen to them. Occasionally listen to a book. But it connects to my phone so that I realized, I could make a phone call and talk in my headset. It was perfect. I called the tower, said, "Hey, my radio's broken. Here's where I am. This is what I'm trying to do." And they're like, "Okay, just stay with me." And I just had my own personal controller the whole way, the last 15, 20 minutes of the flight. And it was great through that headset. Perfect clarity. So, I mean, in the end, there was no real issue. You try and come up with as many backup plans as you can in advance. But yeah, till the plane's tied down, you're not really back from the trip. Now I'm back and feeling exhausted again, and with a couple beers at the pizza place, I am definitely ready for a nap. Tonight we're going to have Turner's got some kind of birthday thing planned. We both I missed both of our birthdays was while I was away, so we didn't have a chance to celebrate together. So tonight's like a combined birthday party for the two of us. And he hasn't told me what it is, but I'm going over to the cabin tonight. We're going to have something. So time to take a nap, enjoy being back, celebrate being back, celebrating success, celebrating birthday, celebrating newfound enlightenments, just generally celebrating what a remarkable period of history we live in right now, where we can do so much on our own, accomplish so many things that in the recent past, were impossible. And in the not so recent past, like unbelievably, enormous efforts that now, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's, a guy like me can pull off so much on my own. It's remarkable. The kind of capability, technology, and all that we have these days. But now it's time for ancient technology. Taking a nap. I deserve it. It's 2 PM, and I think our party starts around 5 or 6. So I hope I'll make the best use of that with my eyes shut. So I'll check in back then.
This is a book on you.
Yeah. We're opening birthday presents. I got one of my big ones here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a photo of Turner and I and Tank when Tank was a puppy, and it says, "Love you, Papa." Turner got some books.
Are we gonna need this for anything else?
Eventually. What do you mean?
I mean, for in there.
No. Oh. Oh. I also got a new speaker, so I can listen to my videos on the computer if I can get them off the phone somehow.
That should be really easy.
Yeah, one would think.
Well, I mean, it's. I'm pretty sure it's literally just taking like an iPhone charger and plugging the USB in.
Yeah, the problem is, like, if it uploads to the thing, then it only keeps thumbnails on the. I don't know. We'll find out. I really like that book.
You can also put the stuff on your phone to like Google Drive, and then download it from Google Drive onto your computer.
Okay.
What you're saying about that?
Oh, it's just like little one-page. The whole book is a bunch of little one-page
Okay.
things you can.
It's like the
wake up to in the morning or something.
Thich Nhat Hanh book you gave me. Is that it?
Oh, yeah, like a mindfulness. This is
like that.
Yeah, this is Tao. It's similar to a lot of the Tantra and Eastern other things, but just talking about how all about life without fear or uncertainty. Anyway. So it's the end of day 10. I got back to Fairbanks this afternoon. Unpacked the plane, got home, took a long nap, and then dinner. Turner organized a joint birthday party for us. One of the things, I can't even remember when that was, but I expressed one time what I really wanted sometime was to watch Lawrence of Arabia on the big screen.
We both said that.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and then as fate would have it, it came to the big screen again in Fairbanks just a couple days ago. But unfortunately, I was stuck on the glacier in the snow, unable to attend. Turner saw it, but I expressed to him that I was sad that I couldn't get to see it. So for dinner, Turner made a traditional dish of that area, makluba, a sort of an upside down rice and, in our case, veggie dish. And now we are sitting outside and enjoying a campfire and watching Lawrence of Arabia on a big screen that Turner constructed himself and a projector from the TV, or from the computer. So I couldn't ask for a better birthday present or a better end to my 22nd year of study on McCall Glacier. And it's, what time is it? It's 11 something?
It's close to that.
It's 11:30. We still have another hour or more to go. So we better get to it.